Today, we get to listen to the story of Giovanna, the host of the podcast, who has also something to add on the living abroad experiences we are sharing here. Originally from São Paulo, Giovanna first came to Australia at just 19 years old, planning only a semester break that became her whole new life. On the way, she faced ups and downs of moving abroad so young, including going through the COVID lockdowns far from family, all while studying, working different jobs, and eventually breaking into the world of digital marketing. This episode not only covers her story, but also what inspired her to create this project and get all the stories we are listening to this podcast along the way.
Hi guys, welcome to Building Roots Abroad. Today is a very special episode, as you can probably already tell. So we will be interviewing the one and only Giovanna. We'll just, talk about what made you move to Australia. We'll talk about a bit of your work experience here and just get to know a bit more about yourself. And I can tell that everyone wants to know your story. Nice. It actually was an idea of mine last time when you interviewed me.
It was,
When you were asking me the questions, I was like, why are you not answering these questions? Because I do know a bit of your journey in Australia and so inspiring. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. Let's get started.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm very happy to be part of this episode. I think it was such a good idea. It's nice to get a bit of experience of being the actually guest. And thanks for doing this.
Of course.
So excited.
All right. Let's start a bit. So can you please introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Giovanna from Brazil. Moved to Australia when I was 19, which is around 5 years ago. I work as a digital marketing specialist, and I did my university. I finished my university here. Overall, that's it.
Yeah, nice. So I think we'll just start from the get-go. What were you doing back in Brazil?
Yeah. So I decided to do uni, which was around the course communications and marketing. The reason why, I think when I was in high school, I even thought about doing law because back in the days I was very persuasive, really loved to read and put my idea out there. And then in the last year of high school, I was always very into video editing and a lot of creative part of business and stuff. So then I realized that would be more marketing because you still need to be persuasive, but you're also creative and you don't need to actually go through all the law and stuff like that, which I'm very glad because I feel law failed. You cannot actually live abroad most of the time because you need to change the law of the country. So I think marketing is more flexible to do what we cover here, which is living overseas. Then I started uni in 2018, and we actually had back in my uni, you do 2 years in the morning, whole day, and then the other 2 years, because we do 4 years in Brazil, during the night, because then you could already work in the field.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a very nice university. And then I decided to do a semester abroad, traveling and learning a bit more of English just before going through the workforce. Then COVID happened when I was in Australia. So I arrived on December 2019. Then COVID hit on March. So I had 2 months here or 3?
Oh.
Yeah.
Ruining the whole experience.
Yeah, ruining the experience and running, I think, all the plans because definitely came here to travel and then, and then I kind of stayed in Australia. Yeah, I got my first job in marketing during COVID, which was a migration education agency. They were just looking for someone that could do some social media, and then I got the job. So then because of this job, I finished uni here. So it was kind of not planned, but worked very well, I guess.
Yeah, so you were supposed to only be here for a semester, and then how did it play out? Did you end up staying here that whole time, or did you have to go back home? How did you tell your family and friends? Because obviously you expect they'll be I'll see you in 6 months, and then that 6 months turned into 2 years. Yeah. So how did that work out?
Yeah, it was actually, to be honest, very stressful, I think, for everyone. I think for COVID. During COVID, and I think for everyone that was with me back in the days, was interesting because we thought it would be for a month and all of that, and some people like myself, we couldn't buy the flight to go back because of COVID. And then I think around July, we could actually go back when the borders opened to go back home. But like when it was already July, I already had the internship in marketing, the job. So I was reading between like, should I stay or should I go? And so then my decision process, of course, like my family was pushing me to come back and all of that. And also my whole mindset and everything I was used to was in crisis, because I was like, that was my life. I love my uni. I love my city. I love everything I had. So I was in this like between, but also the situation in Brazil, like in Europe and many other countries compared to Australia, was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So the decision was made actually because I talked to a professor back in the university in Brazil.
Okay.
And he suggested me like, if you can stay, I would, like, at least for the end of the year, because you can like get this leave.
Yeah.
And so I decided to stay, and because I was working another 6 months in that agency, they suggested me to finish uni at QUT. So the decision was like very hard. Actually, my family, as I said, they were supportive in the end of it, like when they understood that I would finish uni, and then I had like a process to go through, but of course, in the first place, they were like, just come back. There's like a pandemic.
Very apprehensive, obviously. You don't know what's happening. You don't know the gravity of it. And
and on top of the situation of like, how it was to be 6 months turning to 2 years was actually very hard. I remember even like, because I used to be a barista as well in the place that you also worked. And I remember going to the kitchen, and then everyone was saying like, breaking news, Australia will be open just in 2022. And we were like July 2020. So I was like, what do you mean I'm going to see my family just in 2022? Yeah. So that actually happened. Like they opened the borders, I would say March 2022. And I went back home then just around June. So I already had almost the degree done. So I did all of that without seeing my family and Brazil and everything. So yeah, I think definitely the biggest challenge of my life, and I think will always be, because I was like a kid, in my opinion.
You were really young,
Yeah, in my opinion, I was a kid. I was like very not independent at all, and I became like an adult in like 6 months. And
wow,
yeah,
very impressive. And also the fact that, just to highlight the fact that you had no working experience back home.
Yeah,
you arrived here, even though you were studying a degree. You landed an internship in a marketing agency, which a lot of people now struggle, even with a full degree, they don't have experience. Yeah. So how crazy is that? That's really good.
I think it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be, exactly. Yeah. I want to talk about how you found Australia. So obviously, the first time you arrived here, you were expecting to only be here for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I guess you didn't have the same expectation as if you were moving here, being like, that's going to be for the next 2 years of my life. And now being like, 5 years?
5 years,
yeah. So did that make it easier, thinking you were just here for like, not a holiday, but just like a little semester? What did you think of Australia as well?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, because I think I can even link to the fact why I choose Australia. So I choose Australia actually for a reason that is very the opposite of the fact that I live here for 5 years, because I was like, I really want to visit this country, and I always travel a lot with my grandma. So I was always asking like, I want to visit Australia. Don't know why, maybe because it's far, maybe because you see like some movies and stuff. And she was like, no, Australia is the only one I'm not going because it's too far. So when I had the opportunity to have like a semester break, I was like, I'm going there because I'll never come back in my life.
Yeah.
So I chose because of the distance, and then now the distance is actually my reality. Like,
this is so funny.
Yeah, because I was planning literally because it's far and I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
And then now is where I live. So yeah, and then how I found Australia, I think I did like a small exchange in Canada 1 year before coming here.
Nice, okay.
Like 5 weeks or something. So in terms of like English culture and how the city looks like, pretty similar to US and Canada. So that was not very like a big culture shock. But definitely making friends was very hard in the beginning. Even if I was like in English school, I remember I was like joining everything like barbecue and stuff from the English school. So I struggle a bit on that. English, of course, like I knew the basic, but was not very amazing. Like,
Yeah.
and I would say like a culture shock was definitely that I felt was definitely like like I remember having a date
Yeah.
because I met a guy like in a club, and we had like a date, and he was Australian, and everything he was saying was very confusing. I didn't get anything. So I think that one would be not even a culture shock, but something that I
dating scene.
had to learn. And I remember everything he was asking, I was just replying like yes, yes, and then he was like, "You don't say yes in Australia, you say yeah." And then I never forgot that. I was just like, yeah, makes sense. Like the flow of the conversation, you just say yeah.
Exactly.
As you did.
Thinking about it, I don't think I even say yes.
Yeah.
I say it in writing, in emails, but verbally, I don't think I would say yes.
Yeah, so imagine how bad was like my flow.
Yeah.
And I think that one is the only one I can actually remember as like a challenge or culture shock in the first place. Of course, after COVID, many things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in your like responding your question was more getting used to the city, making friends and all of that. Because I had a lot of plans to like travel and see places, but if you don't have a group or
100%,
you don't actually do it. Like nowadays I do. I just did like a solo travel in New Zealand. Very nice. But when you're 19, you don't have this, as we say, like balls to go and do it,
100%, yeah. And I mean, you already are ballsy enough to make a move to Australia.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to travel more alone in that place. Like you want experience with people, which makes total sense.
Yeah. And making friends actually make you speak English, so.
It does.
Yeah.
I think there's two ways of going about it, and I think there's a way that's not as good. But the easier way, because obviously moving here can be very intimidating, and then you can either stay with people who are international and speak your language, or make the effort to actually get to know Australians and try to be involved with activities with them, which is a bit harder.
Yeah.
But you get there eventually, just with time.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about differences between university back home and in Australia?
Yeah.
Back home, were you studying in English or everything was in Portuguese?
Yeah, no, everything was in Portuguese. I think in São Paulo you can definitely find universities in English, but it will be more master level.
Yeah, okay.
Because I do remember a French girl that used to do exchange in my university.
Okay.
And she was very lost because the class was in Portuguese.
Wow.
Like I just remember that now, but yeah. So differences between the universities, I think in Brazil, in general, like everything is way more less flexible.
Okay.
So while here we have like flexibility with classes and working, and you can always work even like as a barista or whatever. Back there, especially my university, which was like private and for a certain type of people, is not flexible at all. You have to be there every day from like 7 or 8 till like 12, and then I was doing uni club in consulting.
Yeah. Okay.
Which was every afternoon. Like I did uni club in consulting here as well, and it was definitely not the same thing. Like we don't even see the people. We just do like networking events. While there, we had like a little office. We had like to attend the thing 2 p.m. till 4, and if you don't do it, they exclude you. Like they just ask you to leave.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I think everything was high level, comparing here to here, but not in a sense like here is bad, but everything there was just so serious. But at the same time, I think here, what I really like, of course, is like you get to study with people from everywhere, and I really like that because, of course, as I said, back home, it's not just people from usually Brazil, like all around Brazil. It's like a certain group of people with a certain level in the society, which is pretty common in Brazil because of the gap in different socioeconomic level. So you kind of like study with the same people you had at school, and it's kind of the same vibe, and all the parties and stuff I think is very similar to what you have in high school.
Okay.
While like here is very like real world, which is
100%.
You kind of like start working and get a lot of experience in different things, and of course for me it was even higher level experience because I get to study in another language, and So yeah, definitely very different work environments, but in terms of units and everything, very similar content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You then started to do your internship while you were here. While you were doing internship, you were a barista. Did you have any barista experience? How did that work? How did you even manage to get a job here?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people are wondering, when do I arrive in Australia? How do I do that?
Yeah. To be honest, like finding my first job was definitely worse than finding my first grad job.
Yeah.
Like, was so bad, so hard. I don't think it's like that nowadays. So yeah, I like when COVID hit on March, I was not that much planning to work because, as I said, I was like here to travel and my family was supporting me, and also I was not spending heaps of money, which is like English student. But then when COVID hit, of course, we had to do something and we couldn't find any job because of the lockdowns and all of that. And then my boyfriend, because we both didn't have jobs, we decided to start like a small business, which we did for like 2 months, I guess. So we started doing like fresh pasta because he's from Italy. So, and also my dad has a similar business back home. So I could help with some ideas and stuff. And we started like selling fresh pasta, lasagna. And the lasagna one was actually the famous. And then we sold for the Italian and Brazilian community on Facebook. And we made quite like a decent money, but we didn't know we need so many licenses to do that. And then someone reported us.
No way.
Yeah.
From the group or?
From the groups, I don't know. Maybe someone that has actually an Italian restaurant or something. They were like, it's very hard to compete with these people because they, of course, charge for a lower price. Yeah. So then, while I was doing that, because of course you are in lockdown, so you have nothing to do, we found out that like there was a church in our street and they were asking for volunteers to like provide some meals and stuff for actually international students. I think international students were the only community actually struggling because Australians, even if you're poor, you had like a lot of help from the government. If you're an international student, you don't have any help. So then we start like helping them with the food, and we were giving the food for everyone. That's how I met my best friend. She's still my best friend till now. Her name is Valentina. And then I kind of share with her, like, I really want a job. Like, I had this lasagna thing going on, but I think it's not going to work anymore. And then she got me the job at Le Bon Choix. And for me, like, this moment when I got the job at Le Bon Choix was like the peak of my experience, because even if now I got my job in marketing, and even if tomorrow I work at Google, everything very exciting, but the Le Bon Choix moment was amazing because
step by step.
Because it was the moment I was like, I can actually stay in Australia and breathe because I will see real money. Like I will actually work for the first time in my life, by the way, because of course back home was like a uni club. I don't actually consider that was a job. In the meantime, I got the internship in marketing, which was also my first job. Crazy. So they were very similar, maybe like a week difference. Yeah. Which was crazy also because I was working 20 hours in the marketing one and maybe 30 or more in Le Bon Choix. So it was like every day, no day off. Yeah, it was crazy because I was like, I really want the experience, but Le Bon Choix is real money.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then I still have like the friendship with the girls. There's even one of them that she's probably 11 or something years older than me. Yeah. So back in the days, I was like 19 and she was like a fully adult. And I remember she was the one helping me with everything because it was my first experience dealing with manager, with kitchen, with everything. And then I used to be very like scared of everything. And she was always the one navigating everything. So yeah, when she remembers how I used to be, she's like, oh, you were so cute. You were so lost to know English. Like, I couldn't understand what you're saying. And
wow.
Yeah, we're still friends till today.
Yeah, talking about friendships, I feel like friendships from back home are different than the friendships here. Yeah. Because you just go through so much here that even though you know someone for like 6 months or a year, you can just create that bond that's like...
amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy and very strong because you just went through so much and learned so much. Yeah. That it's just a different type of friendship. Yeah. And
I think because all the girls mainly in that bakery coffee shop, we were international girls, very young, and we bond a lot. I think we're still very good friends because we always struggle a lot. As I said in the kitchen, when everyone kind of understood that we're going to see our families in 2 years only, we were the only family we could have. So very, very powerful.
Wow, that would be a lot to learn as well. Navigating both jobs, learning so much on both sides, a lot to do in your head. So how long did that go for, that internship and then the work at the bakery?
So the internship part of the job lasts 3 months, and then I got the full time as a proper marketing person in the team, which was, I think, in total 1 year, because even if it was a good experience to start with, was not the type of job I would do. It was just lots of social media and reaching the Brazilian community, also Europe a bit. It was very nice because I was a Korean agency, so I got to know all the Asian cultures, literally all of them, the alphabets, what's Thai, what's Chinese, what's Mandarin, and was very cool. But I just felt like I got everything I needed. And then after I think after 6 months I was working there, I got the scholarship to study at QUT. And on top of that, they also gave me a scholarship for being an employee.
Wow.
So they were so nice. They were so supportive. For sure, if I didn't get that job, I would never do university here, because they were the ones asking me, oh, you should finish here, because our main service is managing university and students. So they already had the relationship with QT and it was pretty strong. So they did everything for me.
So everything worked out in your favor.
Yeah.
Nice. What did you do after?
So after that, I was still when I decided to quit, because also we need to remember, I was my first semester, I didn't know anything about university in Australia, didn't know anyone. Normally you go to the Brazilians or to your community to understand how things work. And back in the days, I think still a little bit, Brazilians don't actually do bachelor here. Maybe they come a bit older, they would do masters, or they would just do courses in English and blah blah. So I didn't know anyone, and we didn't have ChatGPT or anything like that. So I was just oh, how you do a report? I remember being here in the library and then looking at people studying, and I'm I really want to ask them, because I miss so much orientation stuff. Don't know why, but I was very lost. And then managing 2 jobs and all this new stuff, I was struggling a lot. And Le Bon Choix was actually my peaceful place. Which is
says a lot.
Because Le Bon Choix is crazy.
Because Le Bon Choix wasn't a peaceful place.
But was my peaceful place because of the girls mainly. The girls were my everything, my family, my friends, and my co-workers, and because the money was actually way better than the agency. And I think when you feel you matter in a place, even if you're starting croissant, I was already becoming almost team member, the team member that actually takes care of the orders and stuff. So I think for my self-esteem was also very good. And also I was talking way more English in the bakery than with the team.
So fast forward to everything you did. You finished working as a barista. You only focused working at the university now. What's next?
So I think it was very important when I realized that I had to actually start looking for jobs in marketing for real. The agency was cool, but I don't think it was standing out on my resume very, very well. It was a good experience, but not related to anything I would like to do. So then I started doing some units in my degree, in my major. There was one that was actually related to digital marketing. And I was oh, I think that's very trendy. I do listen a lot of that, SEO and all of that. So I was if I can maybe upskill on this or get an internship on this, I will probably easier to get a grad job in the future, especially because I don't know how it's nowadays, but back when I was a grad or I was in the university, was very hard to see myself in a big company. because all the time you apply for things, they say we just want Australian citizen, and I was just very like not going to that direction. Even if it was what I wanted, I was like, I need to go in agency or a smaller company that will not actually ask this question as a one of the steps of the process. But yeah, then I found an internship in an agency called Digital 8. And was very cool because the way I found all those internships was reaching out to the people working there.
Wow.
And I did reach out to them, and I got the internship.
Wow.
Yeah, which was a paid one, I think. So it was pretty cool, and I got maybe like a year there, which gave me like the bare bones of digital marketing. But honestly, the agency was quite small. So it was very hard to like touch base on everything. I don't know, I had the feeling.
It does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, I had the feeling that was not my place. And when I actually was about to finish uni, I actually did finish uni. I was still working there. I had like a big trip in Europe. And then when I came back, I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to be a grad, like a recent graduate and work in a place like this. So it was pretty cool because then I apply for so many jobs.
That was
yeah.
How was that? What was that?
It was quite hard, but I got 2 offers.
Okay.
One was in-house marketing, and the other one was another digital marketing agency.
Wow.
The in-house one was paying way more than the digital marketing one. So it was a hard decision, like where should I go? But then I decided the digital marketing agency because they looked more like a bigger team. I was a recent grad. How can I do in-house marketing all by myself?
Yes.
So it was a bigger team. They looked very organized. They were in Eagle Street. So it was like very bougie. And I was like, sounds like something I really want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty cool because I really trust my gut. I think it was very similar to when I quit the marketing job, the first one, to go for a barista job. I just follow my gut because was, of course, people will be, oh, why hospitality and not an office, but you just need to follow what you think. And I remember quitting Digital 8 before having the offers.
Wow.
I was just so over it because I was like, I don't think things are working. I quit my job on a week, and then I think I started manifesting and everything, and then the next week I already had the other one.
Wow.
So it was pretty good, and it was good as well because the fact that I quit, my manager already knew I was looking for another job. So when they call him for reference, he was very cool to me.
That's good. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, she's very good and everything. It was not like, it didn't get him as like a surprise call. Like, oh my God, she's trying to leave. I was already done with the whole experience. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And I think that's how I got my grad job, which is still the job I have at the moment. Nice. So yeah, it was very crucial to have the first experience.
Yeah, so I want to touch base and I want you to maybe give us advices on, because I know that people who are looking to like move here to study or maybe forever, whatever, they do tend to think that I'll get a comfortable job, I'll work on that while I do uni, and then once I'm done with uni, I'll get my grad job. Do you think that's what they should do, or do you think... Because I think your journey is amazing, and I think the fact that you had a lot of internship helped you through that, because marketing is very hard to get into. Yeah. And definitely your internships helped to get that graduate job. So any advices on if you are intending to work in Australia after your study as an international, how early would you start? What would you do? Like, what are the main, like the most important points for you to find a job?
Yeah, I think all those years and like knowing so many international people, I definitely crossed paths with a lot of people that had to leave because they didn't find any job, or even that graduated in masters and stuff and they still in hospitality. Yeah. So this actually happens. It's not that the fact that you did uni here and you have a working visa after will guarantee you a job. So I definitely think, as you said, having experience in anything before you graduate is very crucial. So definitely I would say Le Bon Choix or the university job helped me, for example, with English and also with the culture. Like
Yeah.
my way to express myself was on the dot. Like I think that's very important for the interviews, because when they understand that you are part of the community, like that cafe owner on the street, you were working there, so you know how things work in Australia. Or in the university, you know everything. You deal with like 40 calls a day, so you are like a fast learner person. So this is still counts. So when they see your resume, even if you didn't have the chance to get hands-on job, you need to get something. Like I know myself, people studying the whole degree with just the parents financially providing stuff, and this is quite bad, not because of the parents, but just through the uni stuff. Because in Australia, especially in marketing, if you don't have uni but you have the skills, will count more. Like even in my agency, some people they don't have uni.
Wow.
But they're very like skilled on digital marketing, and that's what they actually assess, I guess. So yeah, I'll definitely say get as much experience as you can. Your resume needs to talk a lot, needs to show that that you actually care about stuff, like that you're not just studying. And I think all the uni clubs you can join, because uni club you can join without like any interview, I guess. Sometimes you do have interview, but it's very fine. And then from that, 100% sure that you're gonna get an internship, at least for free, you're gonna find. Like, especially in your episode that you mentioned, you built a whole portfolio and you could find one. Like, of course, it was a great idea, but you can try. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna get something. And then I think the last advice, which would be for all kind of industries, is the interview. And because you can reach out to people, you can get the interview, but especially for me, because I was joining like a big marketing team, my digital marketing skills, they were very like beginner. So I had to sell myself. I even had to mention like, I already got another offer, so I'm very open to listen what you guys can offer. And they were not offering any jobs. I reached out to them, and they actually came back to me saying, oh, we are keen for a chat, but we don't have any position. And then when we had the chat, my current main manager, he was like, you know what, we have this girl, she's going to be on leave for 6 months because of personal stuff. Maybe you can join. But this was like days later. So it was a good chat, I guess.
Yeah. 100%.
Because like from the chat, he was thinking about everything I did and the way I kind of present myself, and he could see me somewhere in the team. And that became 2 years now working with them. So yeah, I would say my advice is like, you need to be interesting. Even if you don't have all the skills, I could present myself. I did so much stuff that make me confident. Especially to talk in English. Like I could just probably sound very relaxed, because I was like, I know I can work in other things till I can actually get my dream job. And the dream job was actually in front of me, so
nice.
So
now that you've been pretty much established in Australia, it's been 5 years, when you look at your entire journey, and obviously now you're a bit older, a bit wiser, mid-20s, when you look at the little Giovanna that was 19 years old, would you do everything the same, or would you change stuff?
I think I really like when people say I wouldn't change anything. I don't think I will be one of them, because I think everything I'm telling here is the success part of the journey. But behind all the success, I had a lot of stress. And I think most of the stress was also because I didn't know how to deal with stress. So I think something I would do differently if I could talk to her, like to myself, when I was 19 or 20, it's just like everything is gonna work. Because back home, I was a bit stressed as a person, like in terms of, we really want to go to this uni and I should do a lot of tests and study a lot. But I knew I had my parents and everything on my back and all of that. But I think here I got in like a survival mode.
You're on your own.
And I was in a survival mode for till 2023. I was just like, I had to work a lot and I cannot take breaks. And even traveling was not a big thing for me. I was not traveling a lot. When I went to Brazil, I was like, no, I just want to go for 3 weeks because I have to come back and work. Like, I was crazy, like literally crazy. That's why I would come back and tell her. And because I had all this pressure and all those like points that I put myself on, like you have to get the best job, you have to save a lot of money and study, and I got the high distinction, which I did. Like everything that I was trying to get, I did get, but I don't think they were that important. Like no one cares I have high distinction or that I, could make that much hours in a week. But in the end, like back in 2023, I got like a facial paralysis because of stress. So that's the level of stress I got. And then I start kind of like hating Australia, but it was not Australia. It was like the way I was dealing with the whole living abroad experience. So then I obviously got like a switch in my mindset, and it helped me a lot. Like I'm super like different person. I'm very cool with giving a break to things and to travel now and to spend some money here and there. Like, and also with the education and work, I think I'm in the right place. I don't want to overthink where I should be, where I could be. Definitely for everyone listening, if you're a very stressful person, living abroad is not easy, but you don't need to make harder for yourself. And I did make harder.
Just expect it. Like, were you expecting it to be that hard? Like, were you expecting that when you moved here?
No. No, because I came to travel. And then I think with COVID and all the pressure and financially pressure, I became another person. I was like, oh my God.
The world wasn't the same.
Yeah, I was just, I need to work as much as I can because we are in the end of the world, like, and then I couldn't stop because especially because here we get paid like per hour when you're casual, you feel like I can do another hour, I can do another hour. And I was just saying yes for everything.
Every time, I
was saying yes for everyone. And there was even a meme back in the cafe, like, oh, if you don't want to do this shift, Gio will do it,
That's so funny.
So that's the level of overwhelming situation I put myself in. So it was good because I did a lot and we have all these success stories. But I think if I had like a bit of breaks in between, wouldn't change the results, but would definitely change my
perspective.
My health and all of that. But it's still like an experience, all the health stuff I went through, because now I could change to who I am now.
Improve. 100%.
More relaxed, more balanced, and can also help people, telling them to calm down.
Yeah. So now, how does Australia feels to you?
Yeah.
Do you feel at home or not?
Definitely. That's the main question, I guess. I do feel, I think even more than back home. I kind of realized that because, for example, I was in New Zealand now. When I come and see Brisbane from the airplane, I feel home. Brisbane is definitely my home and will always be, at least till I find a place that is so strong connection as I have with Brisbane now. I feel I grew up here.
Yes.
Not in a sense childhood, because childhood, of course, belongs to Brazil 100%. But becoming an adult, having the first job, first car, first driving, first everything, first boyfriend, living, even cooking, everything, I started here. Cooking, at home. I feel, this place is definitely my place. Even the streets and everything, I'm very familiar with my life here. And but of course, Brazil is also gives me a lot of home. Think about my family and the food. In a different way. It's more like I'm back to my childhood or my past or my when I was a teenager, which is also very cool.
Yeah. So I guess what we all want to know is, what's the plan now? Do you want to stay in Australia, or do you want to leave for a new home, or do you just want to go back to Brazil?
Yeah, that's a very tricky question. I know, because I add this question in all episodes. But I think on my side, it's very cool that this episode is also completing a season of my life. I'm actually leaving Australia at the moment for a quick break. So as I mentioned, of like all the health stuff that happened to me 1.5 years ago, I need to do some treatment, and I went through a lot of visa stuff recently. So I just gave myself this break, which I think would be very cool. I'm very excited. Of course, I was very like, oh, Brisbane, I cannot see myself living in another place, but I don't see as like a goodbye. I see as a see you later. Yeah, so that's the plan. I will be back home for some months. I will be still working from home for some days, per week, just to actually give myself this time with my family and with doctors and stuff, and see exactly what I want to do, where I want to see myself. I do think I could live in other places as well. As I said, Brisbane will be always my home, but sometimes I feel some energy going in other directions. Yeah, but I don't actually see myself living in Brazil for long. It's definitely like a break or something that I'll do for now and experience new things. And why not? Like I never had a break since I was 15, studying a lot to go to the university. So I think it will be very clear. And it's also like a break physically, because I will be still working.
Yeah.
But I think I need that and sort all the visa stuff out and be able to come back here when all the storm is finished. So yeah.
So I think you owe us an explanation, because it's been a whole season, but why did you create that podcast? What makes you want to create that podcast and just share people's experience about moving to Australia and building a career here?
Yeah, so the idea of the podcast was actually from everything I'm talking now in this question about staying or going. So yeah, the last semester when I actually had the idea and everything, I was considering either going back home or even going going to Europe, and actually specifically to Italy, because I really want to at some point of my life live there. And then also my partner, he got sick. So I had the sickness going on a little bit still, and he got very sick when we were in Italy. And every time I go there, I feel like, there's something here. I feel I have something to do there. I don't know yet what. So then we were in between like staying or going back either to Italy or me in this case to Brazil, and just understanding what we want to be, because we came here very young, like both of us, we were 19. So yeah, I was like, I love podcasts. I listen podcasts, working, doing everything I do, and all podcasts that talks about living abroad and stuff. They are very general. They just give you some advice on how to arrive there or what to do in the first place. But if I want to live in Italy, for example, or in Dublin, or in France, or in Australia, but of course I already know about here, where do I go? Like, if you search marketing in Italy or marketing in Italia, like even in Italian, you cannot find anything. Like, people don't actually talk about it. So how the international people live on those places. And then, of course, the whole season, and I think probably the next ones as well, could be talking about Australia mainly, because that's the network I have now. But in this moment, thinking where should I go and everything, I found so many people live in Italy, live in Spain, and from other countries.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I want to talk about. I want to understand how they could build their roots in other countries, how they went through that, and how they actually work in their career, not just complaining about, oh, now I have to be in hospitality, but I was an engineer. I want to actually know the people that made it and how they made it, because I want to be one of them, you know. And I have many friends with very good stories. So I was like, I might start with Australia, maybe one day in Bologna, I don't know where.
Expand.
But we never know how the seasons will be. Probably try to do some online interaction, not only face to face, and get more insights as much as we can to build this community, understand how people are making their lives abroad with careers and all of that.
So the very much expected question, what does building roots abroad mean to you?
Yeah, so as I said, with the whole podcast explanation for me is more how you feel, how is the interaction with other people. I think I have this very strong on me that I built my roots in Brisbane, and it's very strong. Like the fact that I can drive without GPS, the fact that I know every suburb. I feel very part of here, that belonging sense. And if I want to move, for example, to Bologna, which is one of my plans for the very, very far future, we never know, but yeah. How can I feel that there? How can I actually build my life there? I don't want to just go there and try and be the only person I know that could work in marketing there, because I'm not the only one, but I want to have this networking. So yeah, for me, building roots abroad means that you can actually see yourself in that place and part of the community. It's very related to community for me.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank you
for
very much.
explaining everything about your journey. You said it, you would probably will keep working on that podcast and create new seasons.
Yeah.
You will take a break, get some rest, but I was very glad to be interviewing you today.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah, get everyone to know who you are more in details and your experience. So
yeah,
thanks.
It was very cool. Thank you very much. And yeah, guys, any questions, you can ask me on LinkedIn, or any recommendations on who you think should be on the podcast for the next seasons. Please just reach out, and
or even if you are an international student, and not from Australia, and want to talk about your experience, feel free to be on the next season.
Yeah, and then we can even discuss. Sometimes Jason can come back in some episodes.
We'd love to.
Yeah, we can get a third microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be cool. Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.